Oh, there we go. Now we're live. Make sure you can also see it.
I'm refreshing the page. There we go. I see it.
Alright, good. Okay. Let's get back into this and hopefully get this done by freaking noon. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watching is here with your latest update on the tropics, the severe weather, and the heat waves for the southern United States. Today I am joined by one of our newest and greatest team members, Bobby. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. My name is Bobby Frazier. I am a part of the severe weather team on the Hurricane Watch team. I would be mostly focusing on the severe weather. But I will not be shy to talk about the heat and the tropics every once in a while.
So we're going to start off with Invest 92E. As you can see on this satellite, it is just a cluster of thunderstorms. Nothing really organized around a center yet, but I am looking, and I do think in the future, not too long from now, it's going to consolidate that center. We're going to get more thunderstorm activity, and we could see a tropical storm develop, possibly a hurricane according to the GFS. Also, I do think it's not going to make a direct landfall, so I think the main threats with this could possibly be storm surge if it gets close to the coast, and flooding. Flooding is going to be huge. Again, we get those rain bands moving over Mexico. Some of those mountains up to over 5,000 feet. It's going to rip the low-level part of those rain bands out. You're going to get lots. It's going to just squeeze out all that moisture, and it's going to flow down the mountain and down the rivers and creeks and streams and bayous. And near the southern coast of Mexico are lots of, on the bottom of the mountains, you usually have almost, you can say, the foothills, and you have a lot of towns and villages and markets and stuff like that. And so those little towns are going to be threatened, unfortunately, by the tropical rains. Do you want to add anything?
No, you basically said everything I wanted to say there. The biggest issue with this system will be, of course, the storm surge, the wind, of course, being from the north on the southern part of Mexico there will push the waters to the north, creating waves, creating storm surge. And of course, those rain bands, they hit against those mountains and they just squeeze all that moisture out from the clouds.
Yep. That's really the biggest threat from this. You're not going to have any hurricane force winds. Depending on how strong it gets and depending on how close it gets, could determine if you could possibly see up to 39 to 40 mile an hour sustained winds along the immediate coastline. Yes, that is a possibility. Not really sure how strong it's going to get, so there's no certain answer right now. There's no certain answer until something forms. But for right now, pretty much all we're just watching for is going to be the flooding. And if I put this into motion, you can already see some storms sort of developing over Mexico. So you can see those storms are developing over Mexico. So heavy rains already happening. Possibly, the possibility of some flooding is also a big possibility. So just want to keep that in mind. This other tropical disturbance area, as acknowledged by the National Hurricane Center, I don't think it's going to become anything crazy at all. If anything develops, it might not be anything except maybe a tropical disturbance. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, you can definitely see the wave that is going to be associated with that system. However, I do feel like with the current way that it's setting up, it might be too close to land to allow any sort of proper formation. So I think the biggest hindrance to that system will be land interaction. However, there is, of course, the chance that it does try to develop more west and away from the land. And of course, that's what the National Hurricane Center is definitely monitoring just in case. And that is why it is a 20% chance within the next 5 days.
Definitely agree with that. I am going to take a look at the models so we can kind of take a look where this system is going to go. Specifically, I like looking at the 850 millibar vorticity, so we have an idea of what the low-level circulation looks like, what the core, what the heart of the storm looks like, and we get an idea of what we're dealing with. So here you can clearly see not one, not two, but three little spin-ups. You can really see where that is at. And again, I think definitely something in the Caribbean is possible. I don't think it's going to be as strong as what they're showing in the on the GFS. I don't think it has the ability to get that strong. However, I do think, regardless of development, heavy rain and flooding will be big big chances and the biggest threats for Honduras, Nicaragua, and Mexico. And if this does make landfall in Mexico, like the Yucatan Peninsula, storm surge is going to be a possibility. I think they're showing are they showing like 980 millibars or something?
Yeah, so at current landfall, the GFS wants to put it as a 971, which I strongly believe is a little outlandish for this time of year. I could definitely see, like, if conditions are completely favorable for this system and it develops the way that some of these models want it to develop, or is thinking that it's wanting to develop, we could definitely be seeing a minimal hurricane at most. I do not see this going anything above a minimal hurricane.
Yeah, it's still June. There's still dry air. There's still wind shear. There are still there's still factors that can prevent these storms from intensifying. During August we have way less wind shear. The moisture content in the atmosphere is much higher. The water temperatures are like 31 degrees, and so there's I think was it Hurricane Ida? You had upper level diffluence or something like that. It was like high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and it caused the storm to lift or something. I don't really understand it. It was crazy. But right now,
that was pretty crazy to see. I'm not too sure exactly.
I think it's called upper level diffluence. I heard meteorologists talking about that, and it's when you have high pressure over low pressure storm. So you have high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and you have low pressure at the low levels of the atmosphere, and how like high pressure, like I don't really know how high pressure works at that altitude, but somehow it allowed the storm to just breathe even better. It was freaky. It was strange. It's really strange to hear meteorologists talking about high pressure causing a storm to intensify.
Yeah, that's very interesting. We should definitely look at the rainfall accumulation forecasts real quick.
Yes, I agree. For the United States or for United States or Mexico or just in general?
I would definitely let's start with Mexico to see what they're saying.
All right, rainfall. Is this
Then
even?
perhaps we could have a clue on what the current forecasters are saying about that possible storm.
Total precipitation over the next 120 hours. Oh wow.
So yeah, it's currently not looking like too much for some areas, but of course as you go further on, the amounts get higher and higher.
Yeah, they expand.
You can definitely see the influence of that system over by Mexico as it gets closer.
Mm-hmm. In WSV3, I wish they showed you the lines where the country's at. The border of the country and the ocean.
Yeah.
That really sucks because we're like, so where's Mexico out now with all this color on my map? I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah. But if you kind of put your mouse right before it gets all covered up and you kind of get to see it.
I think it's like
you kind of get an idea of it.
Here in this area.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. Definitely, the southern portion of Mexico, seems like it will get sideswiped by a lot of those outer bands.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem for them. So as you can see, I think something like here. I mean, you even go inland right here. Look at that, 6.5 inches in inland Mexico, and those are over the mountains. Like I was saying, those mountains are gonna squeeze out all that energy, and that energy it's got to go somewhere. Now, thankfully, off the coast, it's a lot. The majority of the heaviest rain is off the coast of Mexico, and that's where we're talking 10, 14 inches of rain. This only goes up to 14. And then obviously we're going to be watching this system, which is going to also be making its way into the storm in the Caribbean, near Nicaragua. I mean, they could be getting 5, 6, 7 inches of rain in Nicaragua and Honduras. That's something that's obviously worrying for sure.
Especially when you think about the idea that some of those areas are still trying to recover from the 2020 season when they got hit by basically 2 times over by Category 4s.
Yep, Iota and Eta. So the flooding is certainly going to be a problem. You can see 14 inches there. We just go inland here into inland Mexico. There's 6 inches of rain right there. You got this right here, 6.5 inches. I think the coastline is something like this. So just right off the coast, 7.5 inches of rain. So this is definitely going to be a big flood event and not a wind event. Again, depending on how close it gets, possibly some storm surge. But it's not going to be, we're not talking about Hurricane Patricia here either. We're talking about a storm that could possibly become a hurricane. More of a flood event for sure. That's really just about it. I really kind of want to move on and talk. I want to see if turn my modeling off. Don't know if there is. That's mesoscale data, forecast, temperature, precipitation outlooks. I do want to turn this off. So you can see, this was forecast for temperature, precipitation. So look at the temperature outlook, okay? Now it's a little bit worse farther north, but I think we can still agree in the southern portions of the United States, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the Panhandle of Florida, Georgia. I mean, really the entire South is in extremely high. It's just like extremely dangerous. The temperatures are.
Especially with that, if you kind of look at where like all the rain is expected to fall throughout the United States today, you can definitely tell it is a part of a ridge that it has been building in the southern part of the United States for a while now, and it's starting to move north. But it doesn't seem like it's going to stick around, as it seems to dissipate throughout the middle of the country.
That it has been. The other day, I reached 101.9 degrees here in at my location, the Houston area. 101.9 with like a heat index. Now, my weather station's in the sun because we don't have any trees in the backyard. So it's taking the temperature in the sun, but still, temperature in the shade still was probably still like 100 degrees. But it was like the heat index was showing 115. I'm like, God damn. I was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, definitely make sure, especially today, make sure that you're getting plenty of water, especially if you're in the high temperatures today. Don't over exhaust yourself because you don't want to get a heat stroke.
Oh yeah, that would be bad. So it does seem like as we go later on into the month, into next month, it kind of weakens and kind of moves off to the west, I see. Because now they're showing temperature-wise, farther to the west, Midland, West Texas, southern New Mexico, and probably northern Mexico, seeing some extremely hot temperatures above average.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and as you can kind of see there, with the you can definitely see the jet stream. Definitely, the northern part of the country is forecasted to be a lot cooler, and of course, that means places from the Colorado Rockies all the way to Kansas through Missouri and then up into the Ohio Valley. With that kind of in that jet stream, you get a chance of your severe storms, which we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah. So this is serious in terms of temperature and stuff like that. Snow accumulations are not needed right now. Alright. So that's what we have for temperatures. Kind of curious about precipitation wise. So as you can see here, showing where I think blues and greens are like at or above average. Greens are above average. Reds are below average. Okay. So right in that Houston area, we're just there at average. But it seems like it's gonna hopefully get better here pretty soon, and we get rain pretty soon because it's been a brutal May and June. I'm gonna be honest, it's been brutal and rough.
If I'm not mistaken, here locally in Texas, they recorded I believe it was in top 5. I do not remember the exact position, but it was one of the top 5 hottest Mays on record.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty. It's impressive. So let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center and just take a look at everything that they're showing here. If I go to take a look at the National Weather Advisories, just take a look. I can literally. That's one crazy thing about WSV3. I can look at every single National Weather Service advisories, watch, and warning across the entire United States. Pretty incredible stuff there. Oh my god, shut up. So I'm going to go and take a look at the radar. We do have a cell down here in southeast. Let's move farther to the east now. In southeastern Nebraska, I think it is.
Yeah, you can definitely tell us, especially since we're like in the really early morning hours. Not much severe weather. A couple of storms here and there, especially this one over in Nebraska that I've been watching for a little while now. That looks like it might cross the Nebraska-Kansas border here in a little while.
Yeah, in a few hours it's probably going to do that. Is our radar going to load? There we go. Doesn't actually seem like it has weakened a little bit. We're not seeing the extreme hail cores anymore, but it's still a very serious threat, regardless.
Yeah, especially when it comes to severe storms. If you get any heed to all watches and warnings. Always pay attention to the skies because you never know when one of these things. When you have a severe day like today, we have a slight risk over 3 separate areas. The main one being in the parts of Wyoming, large portion of South Dakota and Nebraska. On the western sides of those states, definitely those will be where most of the severe storms will be, and I would not rule out a chance of a tornado or two in some areas. I can promise you, especially over the last few months, even though, as they say, it's about a 5% chance of a tornado day, it's just like hurricanes. It only takes one tornado to make it a very bad tornado day.
That is true. I mean, just take May 31st, 2013, for example. We all know what happened on that day. The El Reno tornado, I think it was on that day in 2013.
It was, and despite it being, a moderate severe risk, a tornado like that is usually you'd see in a high risk. But it also, and I just know, just recently there was a tornado near a Texas town, which turned out to be a large, violent wedge tornado, but it was only a 2% day. So massive tornadoes can strike it on any day at any given time.
I think that was west of Lubbock, Texas.
I did have the name of the town not too long ago, but I forgot it.
Large wedge tornado.
But yeah, I think it was over by Lubbock.
Yeah, because I heard about it on the internet, because I follow a lot of weather stuff like that, and I was pretty fascinated by, like, holy shoot, a huge tornado in Texas. That thing it was a wedge tornado for sure. I'm gonna send a screenshot of it.
Yeah, and when you get to see these photos, remember this was taken on like a 2% day where they really didn't think massive tornadoes would be a big issue. But it just goes to show you, if the conditions are favorable enough, we will see these massive and destructive tornadoes. Now, luckily, it didn't hit any. It didn't hit any massive buildings. It just ate up some grass before it dissipated.
It was in Morton, Texas.
Yes.
But that thing was huge. You imagine intercepting that thing? And, like, I would love to do that. Like, I wouldn't mind getting a car, specially built, 15,000-pound vehicle or whatever, and drive into a tornado. It's incredible.
It's a lot more dangerous than it is incredible sometimes. But yeah, definitely. Like, as part of the severe weather team, that's definitely something I would love to go watch.
And, since we do have a severe weather team, maybe I was thinking I could set you up with the camera, a high-resolution camera, and you could, like, do some filming of some storms, maybe in the future, and send it to us, or save it, or send it to me, or whatever, somehow. And or you could upload to the YouTube channel. I'm going to probably give you access to the YouTube channel where you can actually upload videos, which I think would be really cool. Because I mean, I don't know. I think that'd be really cool, having some people in the severe weather team kind of do stuff like that for the hurricane watch team. I think that gives people a perspective just how dangerous these storms are. And I feel like weather is just so, people think it's too complicated for me to understand, so I'm not even going to try to understand it. And I think it's very important for people to understand it to a degree, so they know what they're dealing with and what they need to do to get out of harm's way.
Of course, yeah. And another thing is that a lot of people would ask, well, why would a hurricane team need a severe weather team? Well, first, another thing is that some tropical systems, most of them actually, do produce severe weather. So embedded inside of each of the rain bands of a hurricane or a tropical storm can be embedded just lines of storms that can produce a tornado or two here and there. It is not uncommon for a hurricane or a tropical storm to produce a couple of tornadoes.
There was a hurricane I read online a few weeks ago, and it actually produced a 140-mile-an-hour tornado, and the tornado was actually stronger than the winds in the eye wall. I was like, that's crazy. It was
so, like, yeah, I think I think that shows you that even with hurricanes can have tornadoes as well. So that's why we have a severe weather team. That way we can monitor the severe weather that not only in the middle of May, June, July, during the peak of during the peak of severe weather season, it also applies to the hurricanes as well.
A really good example of this was Hurricane Harvey. There were lots of water spouts and tornadoes, Texas City, Galveston. I want to say there were a few tornadoes in Missouri City. That area really got a lot of tornadoes as Hurricane Harvey was moving through. Hurricane Nicholas the last year, I don't remember any tornado reports, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think it was just because that system was so lopsided into the Atlantic that I think most of it was just or into the Gulf, that it was just mostly stuck into the Gulf.
Right. It was not very windy here. I got a max wind gust of 47 miles an hour. That was it.
I know. Luckily, for me, I had a wind gust of about 50 miles an hour. So.
Wow. I actually asked my parents, "Do you mind if I drive down to Galveston so I can record this?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." that would have been amazing. Because I mean, they make a landfall in Galveston, but the images coming out of Galveston were just absolutely incredible, in my opinion. The winds were strong. They probably had 60 mile an hour sustained tropical storm force winds. Whew.
Yeah, all right. We should probably zoom out a little bit, try to find other areas that are currently under at least a severe thunderstorm watch or warning.
So we do
at the current moment. And I know there's
some over to the east. That really seems to be it.
Yeah, because I know the one over on the East Coast, that they were under a tornado watch until probably about 40 to 45 minutes ago, and then that was allowed to expire.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if this loads. There we go. Nothing super crazy. Definitely some thunderstorms and some showers going on down here. This does have a severe thunderstorm warning with it. And a special weather statement. Wow, look how heavy that rain is. Wow. Hail up to 3 and 3/4 inch diameter. That's almost 4-inch hail. That will definitely do some serious damage to your windshield and probably some roof damage. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely got to be careful with those type of storms.
Let's see. This is Illinois.
It's crazy.
So it shows.
It looks like that's about to cross over.
Yeah, it's got to cross over into. This is Ohio over here. Is this Indiana? Right?
Yeah, Indiana.
Indiana, okay. 24 minutes will be in Ogden. No. Ogden. I don't know how to pronounce those names.
Ogden.
Ogden. Weird ass name.
Yeah, that's the best way I could pronounce it.
Ogden. 35 minutes in Fithian. 38 minutes in Muncie. 43 minutes in Fairmount, and 45 minutes in Oakwood. So these storms are definitely do have a threat. Hail is again 4 inches, almost 4-inch diameter hail. Very, very big hail. Serious hail right here. I don't know the exact name of this town. Is this Champaign? Champaign. What town is this? Is it like a bunch of... It's just in all these little towns at once right now. Heavy rain, hail. There's probably a wind threat too. Yeah, winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. It's moving at a pretty good pace at 24 miles an hour. It's expected to expire at 1:15 p.m. UTC. That's here in about the next 30 minutes or so. But if this continues, I should have kept my lightning, but I deleted it because I wanted to not spend so much money. Anyway, there's probably a lot of lightning in this, I would assume. Big system for sure. In terms of the amount of, lots of hail, lots of updrafts. Usually when you get a lot of hail and updrafts, you usually get a decent amount of lightning from these storms.
Also, it's also good to mention that these are the type of storms, you can tell this is very isolated. This is one storm in this very specific area. And these are the type of storms that you have to worry about that could, it may not look like it, but, it'll definitely have a chance to, spin up a quick tornado if it has enough energy. But of course, it's early in the morning. The instability is still rising at this point, or has just started rising because the sun has been up. And on this part of the country at this point, it is now 8:44 in the morning, so the sun has been up a little bit. But yeah, it does look like this is very isolated, and it does look like that it's not a line, so it does look like it's just going to stay like this one little area event for now. As the day continues on, that will be a different story.
Yeah, I think usually the storms really get ugly at around 3 o'clock. That's when you have, I think, your 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock afternoon, evening hours is really when we get the peak of the instability in the atmosphere. And when you can get a lot of that convection and a lot of updrafts and supercell thunderstorms, just incredible stuff. So, right now there's not a lot, but what I will say is, what do you think will be the biggest threats from severe weather today?
Personally, for me, from what I'm looking at, the way the atmosphere is set up today, definitely wind and hail are the two biggest threats today. Tornadoes, not so much, but like I said, in the areas where it's 2-5%, do not please expect that there could be a possibility of a spin up or two here and there. But yeah, mostly wind gusts are going to be the biggest issue today, especially in Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska area. And then as you move further east, with each zone of slight risk, the chances of tornadoes go down, and eventually it just becomes a wind and hail event for the eastern and central part of the country.
That does make sense. Now, the only reason I'm just sort of asking these questions really is just so our viewers have a better idea, because I don't know a lot about severe weather. Again, I've been studying the tropics and tropical storms and hurricanes for almost 7 years now, since 2015. And I don't know much about severe weather, but that's one of the main reasons. So, we just got a new update here from the National Weather Service. We got a special weather statement down here. This is in western Illinois here. There is hail with this system. 1 inch hail diameter appears to be what we're looking at, moving to the east. Let's see what they're saying. Special weather statement, moving to the east at 20 miles an hour. Wind gusts up to 55 miles per hour. So I think once it reaches 60 miles an hour is when it can be severe thunderstorm warned, correct?
Yeah, so do not be surprised, because even though these are just special weather statements, they put these out for good reason. These systems can and will go severe if they have the energy to. And even though it's a special weather statement, it also doesn't mean that there's certain parts of the system that aren't severe. They say this because they do feel like there's a chance that these storms are trying to go severe, or in some cases, they are coming down from being severe. So,
I think in this case,
and that's why you see them.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
I think in this case, the storm does seem to be intensifying a little bit more. There seems to be a little bit more convection, a little bit more thunderstorm activity. Hail seems to have there. It was at about earlier. I was looking at it. It was about half an inch. Now we're seeing up to an inch in diameter. Right here, actually 1 3/4 inches right now is what they're saying. 1.75 inch diameter hail. So we're almost at 2 inches. Is 2 inches the criteria for severe thunderstorm, or is it just wind?
So the severe thunderstorms are separated, of course, by three things. One of them is, of course, your wind, your lightning, and of course tornado. For the longest time, I thought it was the also lightning strikes, the amount of lightning strikes per minute a storm reaches at one point. But I started learning that that's not the case, because usually you see a storm with a lot of lightning, but it's not severe warned, and you'd always ask why. So basically, for storms to be severe warned, the hail has to be at least 2 3/4 inch and or 80-mile-an-hour severe storms.
Wow, 80 mile an hour severe storms.
Of course, you can have sometimes 70, 60-mile-an-hour storms go severe warned, because just because of the damage those type of lines can
create.
But also it also takes 1 inch in diameter sometimes to create those severe thunderstorm warnings. But if there's not enough evidence to support, because sometimes radar overestimates exactly what's falling to the ground, but also that also means you shouldn't underestimate the storm, because the second you underestimate the storm, that's the second you realize, oh no, this is really, really bad.
Yeah, the hail is now increased to 2 1/4 inch hail diameter.
And I'm sorry, I gotta read back. I gotta re-rack this. It is 58 mile an hour or greater, or 1 inch of hail for severe. However, I was just reading this by accident. Destructive. There is a destructive. There's a destructive. A severe thunderstorm is deemed destructive if it has 2.75 or 80 miles an hour.
Oh, okay, so it's severe weather storm warnings, and then you're gonna have destructive storms, I guess.
Yes, but they just still go under the severe thunderstorm warning. But they'll have the instead of just just a normal severe thunderstorm, they'll have the title of a destructive severe thunderstorm.
So there's this thing in W33 I can pull up. I want to make this bigger, but for a reason, it's not very big. But you can kind of see. Look at this. You can see exactly where this is. I don't know what all these IDs mean. I'm still learning about this. Good God, 100% probability of hail, 90% probability of severe hail, and the main estimated hail size 2.25 inches in diameter. We do have another storm that has estimated hail size of 2.75 inches, which is, that's gonna put some big old cracks in your windshield.
Yes, but also another thing to realize also is that some of these storms, like I said, the radar does overestimate. So sometimes it's just maybe pea-sized hail that's hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Because the radar is trying to read these measurements at this point, like 2,000, 3,000 feet up in the air, and ice melts as it goes down, especially in the type of heat that we've been experiencing.
Right. I think you're talking about, how radar is at an angle. I think it's a half a degree angle or whatever. the
Yes.
radar beam kind of goes up at an angle, and so by the time it gets to that storm, it may be way up in the storm, and it's saying, "Holy shit, there's 4-inch hail coming down. We need to, and it's sending all that stuff to the weather service." But if it was directly at the ground, I'm assuming it'd be a lot smaller. But because there's an angle to it, it's going to be a lot higher up, and so it's going to seem like, "Oh shit, we're going to die." No, you're fine.
I would like to quickly try to take a look at the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have currently going on.
Across the entire United States?
Yes, just kind of show where each of them are. It looks like one of them might be allowed to expire soon, while the other one was continued for a little while longer.
Alright, let me try to find this because I know what this is. Basic. Surface. Extract Pro. Show all.
So yeah, the one in eastern Illinois looks like that one's about to expire. I don't see it extending any further at the moment, but of course we are waiting on more information on the National Weather Service, and the one over in southeastern Nebraska. That one does seem like that one will persist for a while.
I'm gonna wait for this to load up and see if this is gonna work properly. Show all. Maybe I need to turn my radar off. And it won't let me see all the severe thunderstorm warnings in every county, because just where it's hashed out just shows you where they've warninged it. It doesn't actually. Oh, here we go. Man, it's doing this crap to me again. Like the outline of the United States is all messed up.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that. Oh, great. Now the states are gone. Okay, we're back. I was about to get really angry for a second. Like, show all. Because I don't think my computer is fast enough, and so it tries to show something and it's not able to, and so it like glitches out.
Yeah.
So you can see down here there is a special weather statement down here in these counties. That's still really nice thing. You can see exactly where the special weather statements are located for every freaking county.
Yeah, and you can also see that severe thunderstorm warning. It hasn't extended further just yet. Of course, like I said, we are waiting on confirmation. But if you look over in the southeastern part of Nebraska, that one does seem like it's going to continue on further
east. Well, this has been a successful stream so far. Not exactly sure what to say right now. I guess I can take a look at some more radar.
I have nothing going on really right at the moment. Doesn't seem like it seems like the atmosphere is definitely priming itself for later today. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see more severe weather later today. I don't really know what else to talk about. I think we've wrapped everything.
I've said everything I could for at least for now.
I think if anything else happens, we will do a special update. We will update y'all through our YouTube channel, through posts and stuff like that, and our Instagram and our Twitter. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to join the Discord server. You can email me at hurricanewatchteam@gmail.com. Yes, I am trying to get back on YouTube a little bit more because I think right now I think it's important that I get back on YouTube a little bit more. But yeah, that's really gonna be it for today, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and that is it. Peace out. Did you want to add any last things, Bobby?
Yeah, and just stay safe today, and we'll update you whenever we can with the severe storms, and if possibly later today, if anything new develops in terms of the tropics, we'll definitely have a quick update for that as well.
Yep, that is it for today, guys. We will catch you later today in any tropical weather update or severe weather update. With all that being said, have a wonderful rest of your morning and peace out.